really successful traders, they may have losing years, but they don't have giant losing years, Even great traders have losing years. I mean, maybe some traders that have avoided it. I mean, yeah, not maybe. There are some traders I can think of. I can think of some traders I've interviewed who've never had a losing year, but that's really the exception. Even very successful traders have had losing years. The idea is, the big thing is the losing year should be kept. You need to keep the losing year relatively small. It's not so much having a losing year, it's that it not do really, significant damage.
The way you handle a drawdown, I think, is really important. For me, if I recognize I'm hitting a drawdown, like I have a series of, a few losses, I immediately cut my risk in half. And I already do trade small anyway. I'd say on average 0.2% is what I'm trading, okay? Which is really small. One of my mistakes in the past is I traded, 5%, 3% per trade. That was dumb, so I trade smaller. But when I hit a drawdown, I'll definitely, I cut my risk in half. And I look at the drawdown as the opportunity to actually become a better trader. Because you can look at the situation, you can either let it get the best of you emotionally, or you can actually sit there and analyze, why are you in that drawdown? What are you making any mistakes at that point in time? And I use it as an opportunity to actually become just more patient, more precise with my trading. And I'll find if I then all of a sudden I put on a few trades that work out, your confidence builds back up and you come out of that drawdown being a better trader. So I would say don't be discouraged about stuff like that. But if anything, just use it to your advantage to actually become better.
But for a discretionary trader, almost every discretionary trader will hit periods where no matter what you're doing, it's just not working, just not right. And when you hit those type of periods, and when I give talks, I tell people you can't try harder to make it go right when it's not right. And the only thing you could really do is kind of pull away and stop and just clean the slate, and then go and take a vacation, take a break, whatever. And when you come back with a clean slate, and you begin following markets, and then you begin trading when you feel conviction on trades, and you begin small. And once you're profitable, you can build it up again. But that's a way to get out of this vicious cycle of where you're losing and losing begets losing, because once you make some wrong decisions, you'll start making second guessing yourself, making other wrong decisions. You have to break that cycle. And so that's what the best thing you can really do is to just get away with it and come back with a clean slate and start again conservatively. And that way you don't allow one period to drive you into a deep loss. Because way before you get to that point, and don't forget, you don't go from being at some profit to having a significant loss. You actually have to start giving up assuming you're at least ahead at some point, you have to start giving back your profits. So that point of stopping trading or scaling down can well occur while you're still up for the year. It could just happen while you're in a drawdown. So it's important to know that if things are not going well and you just seem to be out of sync with the market, break that cycle by either, like I say, stopping trading altogether and coming back when you're ready, or scaling down to the point where it's not impacting your trading much.
I actually believe that traders' problem happen, they lose or win long before they start trading. They bring a particular mindset to the game of trading. And if that mindset, if the biases in that mindset don't match up with the needs for trading effectively, they're going to have problems with either getting into trades, blowing up revenge trading, not being able to take profits when they have. It's all over the place. But the main thing, the biggest thing is the attitude toward winning and losing.
Because the thing is if, a lot of young guys will come in with a jackpot view of the market, right? Think, okay, well, I'll put $5,000 into an account, start trading one lot. All I need to make is $1,000 a day, and then, I'm in the Bahamas, right? But they have to go through the pain of losing it to be able to go, okay, well, now I'm going to be conservative, right? Now I'm going to really be patient and wait for those high probability trades, right? Because the thing is if you open the charts up, it doesn't mean you have to trade, right? Yeah. Just because the charts are in front of you certainly doesn't mean, I'll try and look for a trading opportunity. What we've got to do is we've got to let the trading opportunity come to us.
The way really good traders react to losing periods is one of two ways. Either they stop trading completely at a point before the loss gets large, or they scale down their positions very, very dramatically, so their trading is not having much of an impact one way or the other. And whichever route they choose, they don't either begin trading or begin scaling up their trading until they feel they're getting back in a groove. So
I think you need a little bit soul of a gambler, little bit. I think people use the word gambling as such a bad thing. A good gambler, a great gambler. I've actually taught a professional gambler how to trade many, many years ago. He was an honest to goodness, written up in Forbes magazine gambler, and he had rules, he had risk management. He even had a specific diet. He knew what time of day for him were the best hours to be at the casino. So I think you need a little bit of that because we are risk takers. Trading is not, I know the word risk management comes up all the time. I think that's actually wrong. We are risk takers and we have to accept what risk we're going to take. So if you don't have that risk-taking spirit, a little bit of that, it's difficult. I think entrepreneurs naturally have that. We also probably cherish freedom over darn near anything. I think traders rank, the ones that I speak with, rank freedom amongst almost everything. They want the freedom to work when they want to. I think they're also very intellectually curious. Not that people who work for a company and employees are not, but I think traders are very intellectually curious. I'm not the only trader with a massive bookshelf in their office. So I think if you have those things very naturally, you can take risk. You have a little bit soul of the gambler. You're intellectually curious and you understand your risk taking is really a big part of what you do. Can you have some of those naturally? Of course, but can you develop them? Because your desire for freedom, financial freedom and time freedom are so strong that you're willing to develop those muscles. For sure. I think it's both. Some traders just have a leg up because they're just better wired for those things just from the womb.
How do you get a good soccer player or footy player, right? They have to go through the under 12s, under 13s, under 14s, to the seconds, and then, they get selected all the way along. I don't know who's a good trader before they walk in the door.
But there are some people who I'm surprised have become successful. But now that I learn more about them, I recognize it was my own failure to see their just tremendous ability. It wasn't traditional ability. It's not something, I think a lot of times we judge people by the way they speak and the way they act and the way they look, perhaps too much because we're sort of trained to do that. And there are people, traders come in different shapes and sizes and talk differently. And there's sometimes people are so immensely talented and they're just not traditionally trained in lots of different ways. And you have to be really open-minded to understanding that and to not think that you have all the right answers so that people have to act a certain way.
Just because somebody is doing something doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it, right? Doesn't mean that you can do it. Don't ever, it's good for me to look at her and take a little bit from it, but I had to find what works for me. Because like I said, I have to find how the market makes sense to me. Do I see this inefficiency and can I exploit this inefficiency? Is it something that I can do?
I like the idea of copying the masters first and learning how the masters do things, and then make that trade your own through review and understanding of what your cognitive and personality strengths are. If you trade things without edge, you're not going to make money. But on our desk, at least, the most success is had copying the masters, but then making it your own. So for instance, best example I can give you for this is our best trader on our desk runs a team. He trades a very specific type of strategy. He teaches all of the junior traders that strategy. They can see in real time all his trades, talks to them in real time. They have an AM meeting. They have a monthly review. If you ask him a question, he'll answer why he's thinking through his trade in a certain way. He'll have special teaching classes with these guys. The team, everyone on the team tends to trade the same stocks. They tend to trade them mostly in the same direction. They all trade them differently. They're all profitable traders. So you would think, hey, I've got this superstar, elite, active trader who's running my team. All I've got to do is just go do what he does. And that's good at the beginning. But the problem is that your personality may not be suited to take the drawdown that he can. He likes to take the drawdown. That's what makes him good. That's what enables him to hit the home runs. You can't. Or your brain doesn't think the way that his does. He likes to be a natural risk taker. Maybe you like to be more conservative. He likes to get in front of a particular stock. Maybe you want to be more conservative and really see the stars aligned to put on your trades. So copying masters first, making your own, and building from there.